Hello and welcome back to the Canary Chat channel. Today we have another transfer update video. It's been a little while, I think it's been about a week or so since our last one. One outgoing has happened and there's still a few rumours flying around other outgoings. But yeah, let's get straight into it. So in regards to that first outgoing, that was Brad Hills. He has left for Stockport, who he had a very successful loan kind of end of the season with last year. He went over to them, he'd done really well. I think he won a few player of the months as well there for Stockport. All of their fans wanted him. Obviously he's come back, gone through pre-season. Liam Manning's obviously decided he's not going to make the cut at all. I think we were all expecting a loan for Brad Hills, if anything, but it is a permanent move that has happened. It is a £1 million deal with an option, or should I say additional £1 million further down the line with add-ons and bits like that. So about a £2 million deal, as they seem achievable add-ons by all intents and purposes. But he has returned to League One, has returned to Stockport. Stockport fans absolutely buzzing about it, which if he was winning Player of the Month awards and he's coming back, obviously you would be. It was a little bit of a shame, I think. I know last year everyone thought, me included, that could have been his breakout year. Didn't necessarily go to plan. He obviously had an absolute stellar time in League One, and if we were scouting for another centre-back and we were looking in League One like we looked for a striker with McCammer, I think Brad Hills would have been one of those players that we would have said, oh, he looks decent. But obviously we already had him at the club. Went through pre-season. We obviously bought in two centre-backs. So the likelihood is two centre-backs will leave. And I think people maybe thought a Rory McConville loan, Shane Duffy to go, would have been that combination. But that doesn't look like the case. Well, it certainly isn't the case in Brad Hills' situation. He is gone. Obviously, everyone wishes him the best of luck there. I'm sure he'll still have a great career and hopefully he can help Stockport back up into the Championship. But yeah, it came a little bit of a shock. It was reported a few days ago and confirmed a few days ago. But yeah, I think the finances in it, relatively all right. Our side, I'm sure we've probably slipped in a sell-on fee on any profit. So although the fees may be slightly, I wouldn't say on the low side, but £1 million, if they sell him for 4 or 5 million further down the line, we could make a nice-ish chunk on there as well. So yeah, that is the first outgoing and that one is confirmed. Just quickly, about 70% of the people watching this video are not subscribed. So if you're enjoying the content, you're enjoying all the Norwich City news, click the subscribe button down below. I set a very audacious goal of trying to hit 2,000 subscribers by the kind of end of August, start of September, which is a huge ask. So if you want to come on the journey, click that subscribe button. And if you want to become a member and support the channel even more, click the link in the description. Now into the other rumours. So the biggest one at the moment is regarding another centre-back. So it is Shane Duffy. There are now rumours that he is looking to go on loan to Sheffield Wednesday. Obviously they've got a lot going on behind the scenes, a lot of things kicking off. And yeah, they're obviously looking for potential loan options. I think I previously mentioned in another video around Sheffield Wednesday's lack of experience in their squad now that a lot of players have gone. I think, yeah, there was only a few players that had actually got like over 20 appearances in the Championship, I believe, in their team. And they obviously need some experience to try and steady that boat. That experience could be coming from Shane Duffy. It is talks of a loan. The thing that probably restricts us a lot with Shane Duffy is his wages. I think he's on between £35,000 and £40,000 a week. Sheffield Wednesday in their financial situation will not shell that out. They may cover a small percentage of it, but the likelihood is that we'll end up covering most of it. And then, yeah, looking to get a move elsewhere. maybe the MLS would be able to afford those wages, but his level within the English pyramid is probably low championship now, and I don't think low championship teams will obviously shell out £35,000-40,000 a week on Shane Duffy. And if he's got that contract and that's what he wants to keep bringing in, then so be it. But we're going to obviously try and offset a little bit of that, get maybe like a loan fee, as well as hopefully getting them to cover maybe, I don't know, 20% or something of the wages. Every little helps in these situations. So even if we can only be paying him 25,000 and they're paying him 10,000, that'd be a huge help for us as well for balancing the books. But Shane Duffy does look like he's the other one going. As well as that, Slimani, once again, not really been involved at all over the last few games. I fully expect him to potentially go out on loan now, or sell if a good offer comes in. Nothing kind of concrete as of yet, or no strong rumours around where he could be going, but I fully expect him to be off. And then the other one that's probably changed a little bit is Marcondes. So he was obviously linked to Grêmio going back to Brazil, and nothing really happened there, but he was then not really included in the first squad. And then he has played and started the last two games for against Watford, shall I say, and against Portsmouth. Watford, thought he had a very good game, pressed really well, and from that pressing we managed to get a goal. Portsmouth, he was a little bit quieter, came off at half time, but I do genuinely think that he's maybe impressed Liam Manning enough to now stay and fill that little bit of a void that we've got in the centre attacking midfielder role, with Forson being injured, and with Jurasek nowhere to be seen still. So yeah, I do think that's a genuinely viable option that he now stays. I did think he was going to be one of the ones going after the first few weeks and after a few pre-season games, but yeah, turns out we might need him in the end, and yeah, I don't mind that one at all. The other few kind of rumours that we've obviously had that we are reporting on was Núñez was being linked heavily to the Turkish division, as well as some Spanish sides looking into bringing his services in. Nothing again has happened there, and once again, since those rumours have come in, he started the next two games. He's really impressed. He did pick up a little bit of a knock against Portsmouth, and they're going to go for some scans, but they're hoping it's just kind of superficial on the top, so hopefully nothing too serious to kind of either put him out for a long time or affect any transfer value. But him and Topic have looked very, very good since kind of linking up. Watford was really good, Portsmouth looked really solid, and obviously everyone was expecting it to be Wright and Topic, myself included, and Núñez has come in and really staked a claim on that centre midfielder role. So he is another one that, unfortunately, he's only got this season left on his contract, so I'd like to think we're maybe working on something behind the scenes. McLean's obviously injured, and Forson's injured as well, who can play that centre midfielder role. So we do have Wright, Topic, McLean, Núñez, Gibbs as like our five slightly more defensive minded midfielders. With McLean being injured, you're down to 4. With Núñez then potentially being injured, you're down to 3. So there is definitely a possibility that we might just keep them all. I did think we'd get rid of one of the main 4, and they were looking to realistically be either Kenny or Núñez, but with Kenny being injured, can't see him going anywhere, and with Núñez's current performances, I don't think Manning would want to sell him. I think he's staked a claim on that he should be starting. I think there was a bit of a hangover from the back end of last year where, in my opinion, his performances did dip quite a lot, and he wasn't the only one in that team. And I think we had kept that in our head going through pre-season, but it does seem that Liam Manning's come in and getting the best out of him. So certainly another one to keep an eye on. And then Fisher, we've reported around Everton and Wolves being interested. Obviously came on against Portsmouth, gave away the penalty that Kovacevic saved. no other kind of interest as of yet, and no rumours going forwards on any transfer value, how much they're looking to bid, anything like that. So that one could now be kind of dead in the water. What I would say is if we did lose Fisher, we'd have to go out and get a right back. So the longer that one goes on for, the less likely I think we are to sell. And I do think Fisher and Stacey will heavily rotate. Stacey's had two relatively solid kind of league performances, and Fisher's cup performance was really good, but his cameo against Portsmouth maybe dented a little bit of that reputation. But yeah, can't see Fisher going anywhere anytime soon. And the big one, Josh Sargent. So we've still had no news around any other transfer rumours here. The important thing is to remember is the American transfer window, I believe, shuts very soon, and then we've got about 2 weeks or so left, 2 weeks or so left of this current transfer window. No rumours at all around other clubs. All other clubs that had kind of been previously linked to him have now really got their replacements. Roma were obviously linked at some point. Evan Ferguson's gone. Burnley were linked at some point. Brozier's in. I think Leeds have now been linked with a few more strikers that aren't Josh Sargent. And then, as I said, the MLS links, they'd have to be done basically ASAP. But one real positive, I think, is the way Liam Manning has handled this whole situation. So not only has he kind of kept Sarge on side, kept it very professional, but he's then been captain for the games. He's making him the main man. He's showing him his worth to Norwich City. And I do genuinely think that could be what keeps Sargent at the club. I was very pessimistic. Well, I wouldn't say pessimistic. I was very realistic, and I believed that both him and Sainz would go this window. I genuinely, and I still do, think Sargent is too good for the Championship, and I was expecting him to go because Leeds or Burnley for me were the obvious two. Now, he's scored another goal at the weekend. The issue I think other clubs maybe now have is if they're panic buying, I think we're only going to up our price because of the performances that he's put in to start. And it's going to have to be, the amount of money for me is going to have to be ridiculous. I think it's going to have to be 30 plus. I know it sounds a bit mental, but it's going to have to be 30 plus, I think, for us to contemplate it, because money comes from promotion. With Sarge, I think we're in a really strong position. Without Sarge, it's a different story. And I think it's a real sign of intent if we keep him. But I do, as I said, genuinely think every goal that he's scoring, his price is going to go up because he's showing his value to the club even more. If he had started the season and not really hit the ground running, not scored, not really got involved, we'd still ask for probably around that 16, 20 million, because we still need to find his replacement. But his worth to us, he's not necessarily would have been showing it. But the fact he's scoring, every time he scores, the price surely has to go. He's scored 3 games on the trot. Like, his price has to go up, because we, the later it goes on, can't then find a replacement. And then when we do find a replacement in time, which would be in the next window, I believe we'd have to spend big to get a decent person that could hit the ground running. We've seen players that haven't done that. Hurasek, prime example of we're buying someone at a larger price tag and hasn't hit the ground running, and he was like that £6 million mark. If Sarge left, we'd probably have to spend, in my opinion, probably like 15 odd million to find someone even close to him, and that would be in the January market. And then they've only got a few months to really get the goals and push us towards playoffs. So deep down, I'm getting more and more positive. I know it can change in an instant, and I think a few clubs may get kind of twitchy fingers towards the end of the transfer market and be like, actually, yeah, we need a striker, let's go after him. But I'm really hoping that unless they offer us silly money, we can keep a hold of him, basically. But in regards to incomings, no fresh rumours. There was one around an attacking midfielder, but that was quickly squashed. So yeah, no other rumours around incomings, especially no rumours around the Premier League loan that we're supposedly going to be chasing, so that may still come later on down the line. But these videos I do think are going to be mainly based now on outgoings. But if you've enjoyed it, as always, leave a like and subscribe. Comment down below on your thoughts on the most recent rumours and on my takes, and yeah, we'll see you in the next video.